Hello viewers, welcome back. Today I'm going to solve a problem. Let's say there are 100 student IDs in sheet number 1 in sheet 1 and we want to extract 10 IDs sequentially, okay, from 1 to 10 and then from 11 to 20. Sequentially we want to extract them from this sheet and store in separate columns in sheet number 2. So in sheet 2, in column A, we'll store the student's ID from serial number 1 to 10. In column B, we'll store the student's IDs having serial number 11 to 20, then 21 to 30, so on and so forth up to 91 to 100. Okay. So let us check first if truly we have information or the student IDs of 100 students. So let's check that first. So we'll put the cursor here and then press Ctrl Shift down arrow. So that shows the row number 101 because first row is occupied by the headers, and also you can see here in the bottom ribbon that is the count is 100. So number of selected cells that contain data are 100, so that is fine. There are 100 student IDs in column B. So we are going to write our Visual Basic code, and please stay with me because this is going to be a bit longer. Okay, not that much, but it will be slightly longer. So I'm going to go to this Developer tab and then insert a command button here from the ActiveX controls like we did many times before. And this is your command button. We'll put the names and other things later on after we finish coding, and once we are satisfied that the codes are working perfectly, only then we'll change the properties and look of this command button. Okay, and then double click on this command button. That will bring up the Visual Basic editor window, and here we'll write our code. So let us first of all declare some variables. So I'm going to write dim and declare some variables, say I as integer, okay, j as integer, k as integer, okay, and I don't want to write L because L is always confusing with I, so I'm going to write M as integer, X as integer, and let me write another variable which is data count. I'll explain why I have written all these things. As I progress, you'll understand. Data count as integer as well. So all the variables are integer type of variables I have written. And now I'm going to find data count as application worksheet function. You know how to use a worksheet function in ExcelVBA, and then I'm going to write counted. So this is the function I'm going to use. For what? To find the non-empty cells. So the total non-empty cells in column A of sheet 1, that is what I'm going to find. So I'm going to write count A function to be used for sheet 1, okay, and in the range, what is the range? Range is where are my student IDs in column B. So I'm going to use this function on range column B, the entire column, sorry, not N, B, okay, close parenthesis and close parenthesis. So that should give you the total number of non-empty cells in column B of sheet number 1, okay. And now we are going to get some input data from the user. So I'm gonna write M is equal to input box. You know how to use input box. I showed it earlier in one of my previous lectures. and we are going to get information or input about how many data you want to write in each column. Okay, do you want to write, because there are 100 students and we want to split it into 10, so we'll be inputting 10 in this input box. I'll show you as I run it, and then also write k is equal to input box. You use input boxes when you want to make the inputs dynamic. Okay, and that is what exactly we are doing, and how many columns you want to generate. And you want to generate, of course, if in each column you have 10 data, so you'll generate 10 columns as well, because you have 100 students. Now we are going to use our famous for next loop, and here we'll use two for next loops. For I is equal to 1 to k, that is 1, so that means it will vary from first column to the number of columns you input, okay, in the input box. And of course, as I have mentioned earlier, that in sheet 2 we'll use 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 columns. Okay, so our input will be obviously k is equal to 10, and of course for m our input will be 10. So for I is equal to 1 to k means we are gonna vary this I variable, or we are going to loop through from the first column to column number 10 in sheet number 2. That is why we are generating this for next loop. So for must be associated with the next, and this should be next I. Okay, once you put next I, it is better to put, I mean, to which this next is connected. Okay, so once you put next I, that means this next is for this loop. That gives you more clarity. And here we are going to use x equal to 1. Why, I'll explain later on. And then I'm gonna use another for next loop for j is equal to, what is j? J is equal to 2 to data count plus 1. Okay, right, I have made one mistake for data count. Actually this will give you all the non-empty cells in range B or the column B, so that will also include the header. Okay, but this is not your data starts from row number 2. Okay, so actually data count will be all the non-empty cells minus 1, so that should be your data count. And now here I have written j is equal to 2 to data count plus 1, because we want to run through from here to the last row. So that will be your data count plus 1. Okay, now because the first data starts from row number 2, that is why we have used a plus 1 with this. Now if, okay, if x, so x is a counter, you'll understand very soon. X is a counter, x is less than m, then you're going to write, if x is less than m, what is m? M is the number of data in each column. So if x is less than m, which in the first case is true, because we have initialized a value of 1 to x, so it will start with a value of x equal to 1, and for this case that will be true. And then what you want to write, sheet 2, so in sheet 2 and in cells first, in sheet 2 and in this cell. Okay, you want to write something. What is that? That should be x plus 1 comma, cell address should be x plus 1 I. Okay, should be equal to the value in sheet 1 dot cells J2. Okay, J2, right. So what we have done here is, let me explain, and if, and let me close this loop as well, next J. Okay, so what these few lines of code actually are going to do, let me show you. So first of all, we have declared some variables, and then we have calculated the total amount of data count in this in sheet number 1, and for that we used a count a function over the range, or for the range B column, that is BB in sheet 1, that gives us the total non-empty cells in column B. Minus 1 gives you the total number of data count, that is 100. Okay, and now as M, we are going to get input through input box, where we'll be inputting number of data that we want to be stored in each column, which in our case is 10. Okay, and also as K, we are going to input data through input box, and which will be asking for how many columns, because you have 100 data, and in each column you are going to store 10 data, so there will be 10 columns. So M will be 10 and K will be 10 in this particular example. Then what we are doing is, for I is equal to 1 to K, so we are looping through the columns in sheet number 2. Okay, so for I is equal to 1 to K, so K will be 10. So from 1, so initially, or when it starts the loop, it will get a value of I is equal to 1, and then it will go to a variable which is x is equal to 1 defined by the program, and then it will go to, for j is equal to 2 to data count plus 1. So from 2 to data count plus 1 means in all the data in sheet number 1, it will go step by step. First of all, it will check for j is equal to 2, and then go to this condition, if x is less or equal to m. Okay, x is 1 and m is 10, so in the first case this will be true, and when this is true, what this will do, in sheet 2, in cells x plus 1, x value was 1, so x plus 1 will be 2, and I, what is I is 1. So in cells 2 1, of sheet number 1, this one, in cells 2 1 of sheet number 2, sorry, in sheet number 2, this will write a value which is equal to the value of cells J2 in sheet 1. And what is cells J2, and what is the value of J? J is 2, so J22 of sheet number 1. And what is J22? J22 means this one. Okay, 2 2, but this will be executed only when this condition is satisfied, otherwise it will not. Okay, and this way it will end this work, and next j, for next j it will go there, and then if x is still less than 1, okay, is still less than m, it will again do this. Let us try this and see what it does, and afterwards we'll make corrections or repair if we have to. Okay, right, so let us try this part, and after that we'll do the corrections if required. So let us click this button now and see what it does. How many data in each column? Let us try with 2 columns. How many data in each column? Yes, 10. And then how many columns? Let us try with 2 columns. Let us not fill all the columns now, and let's see what it does. So what it has done, you see, what it has done, it has filled a value in column A and in column B, and these are all 100. So you are not getting the expected results, have you? So you have not. So let us go to this code again, and why it has done so, let us examine. So what it did is it ran through all the data in sheet number 1 for I is equal to 1 to k, and the k was 2. Okay, we wanted 2, but also as m we used this value of 10, but it didn't give us 10 values in each column, did it? See, it gave us only one value. Why? Because first of all, let us clear that why it gave us only one value and not the 10 values. Because every time it went through this loop, that is from 1 to 2, that means in the first column it started with a value of x equal to 1, and it found x is less than m was 10, that is fine, and then it did this, but there was no further increment of x, and then it, after finishing this loop, it went forward to next I statement, and then picked up I is equal to 2, and again it found x is equal to 1. So it wrote us the value only in the cells 2, column 1 or column 2. That is why it gave us only one value, because this was not being incremented. Now to get rid of this, let me clear this first. Let us give an increment here, x is equal to x plus 1. That means it will pick up a value of I is equal to 1, okay, then x will be equal to 1, and then for j, say with a value of 2, it will go to this condition, and it will find x is equal to x is less than m, because x value is 1 and m value is 10. Okay, so it will do this, then after that there will be an increment, so x value will now be 2. So it will go back to this next j, okay, and j will be now 3. Okay, j value will be now 3, so it will go to the next cell value in sheet 1. You go here, it will go here, and here it will write what? It will write, it will examine this condition, the 2, x value is 2 now, so 2 will be less than this, and it will write sheet 2 cells x plus 1, okay, 1. So x plus 1 will be now 2 plus 1, that is 3, and 1. So in cells 3 1, in here, it will now write a value corresponding to the cell value in column J2. And what will be J? J will be 3, 2. So this one, this value will now be written in this cell. Okay, let us try this. It is always better to go slowly when you write programs, and it always takes time to develop your program. Okay, you'll have to have that patience. So let us close this button and clear this off. Okay, and let's see if we get any correction now. Command button 1, how many data in each column? Again, as before, I am going to write 10, and how many columns? 2 columns. See what you have got now. This is very interesting. Okay, so you have repaired your program a bit, not fully, but partially you have. So now it has given you first 10 values, 1 to 10 and 1 to 10, but it has not given you the student IDs here, right? And also in both the columns it has written the same values. So we'll have to repair our program, and let's see what we can do. This is okay. We have written j is equal to 2 and sheet 2 x plus 1 I, that is column address, and that should be equal to sheet 1 cells j2. But this is very interesting. We have written it equal to 2, so this should have written the values from column 2 in sheet number 2, but why it is not writing? In sheet number 2, right, okay, so it has not written the first part, that is 2019 and blah. Okay, so I'm going to repair this. Probably these are not in text format. I'll have to write it in text format maybe. Yeah, and let us change the students number now. Students IDs 001, sorry, 001, 00, sorry, 1, 002, okay, and copy it down to the last record. Right, and then go back to sheet 2 again and try it again. Okay, let's delete all these things. Let's see what change we get here now. Turn the design mode off, click 10 columns, 10 in each column, and there will be 2 columns. There you go. So now you're getting the student IDs from column B. So our program was okay, but the data type was not okay. So the data type has been corrected now. Right, now there is still a problem that you have got data in both the columns, but these are all same. Okay, here also you have 1 to 10 student ID, and here also you have 1 to 10, but it should have been from 11 to 20. Okay, so we'll have to correct our program further. Before that, let me do one thing. I'm going to use color for the data in sheet 1, okay, in column 2. So I'm going to write say color code 17. You know how to use the color codes, color index, right? And now let us try it again, and let's see what difference does it make. Clear all this data from sheet 2, and in sheet 1 you have all the data as before, and now click on this command button. How many data in each column? 10. And how many columns? 2. Okay, so still you get the same output in sheet number 2. That is fine, but there should be some change in sheet number 1. Yep. Okay, so in sheet number 1, now it has highlighted the data it has taken. Okay, right, let's go back to the code again. Go to design mode, command button, and here let us try to understand why it is picking up the same information in both the columns. It is starting with a value of I is equal to 1, that is the first column, in that is the first column in sheet 2. Okay, so that is columns in sheet 2. Okay, and these are rows in sheet 1. Okay, so I is equal to 1 and then x equal to 1, that is fine, and x is a counter, you have already understood it. For j is equal to 2, that is the first row in sheet 1. Now if x is less than m, x is equal to 1 and m is equal to 10 in our case. Okay, 10 in our case. So 1 is obviously less than m, and because this condition is satisfied, what it did in sheet 2 in cells 2 2 sorry in cells 2 1, that means in this cell, it wrote the value from sheet 1, and which value? Cells j2. And what is the value of j? J is 2 2, that is fine. And then it colored this one, and then with the next x value, x is equal to x plus 1, that means 1 plus 1 2, it again went back to the row number 3, and the condition was satisfied and it wrote. So this way, but the I value was 1. So this way it filled up all the 10 values in column 1 of sheet 2, that is fine. And after finishing or after completing this loop, what it did, it again went back to next I, that means it went to this loop, and now it picked up a value of I is equal to 2. Okay, right, and then x is equal to 1, fine, and j is equal to 2, and this condition is satisfied. Now in sheet 2, in cells x plus 1, x value is what? Now 2, and I value is 2. So now it is writing in second column, in this column, that is fine, and in this cell first. And what did it write? So in sheet 2, in cells 2 2, now it is writing sheet 1, that is the value from sheet 1, and which value? The value is cells j2, and what is the value of j? That is 2. So it is writing the value of cells 2 2 of sheet 1, and what is the value of cells 2 2 in sheet 1? This one. So it has actually picked up the program as it is written now. It has actually picked up the same 10 numbers or the 10 student IDs from sheet number 1. Okay, so there is a problem. I mean, say let us delete this thing again, and let us clear all these fields. Okay, and if you now try to run the program again, go to developer, design mode off, and how many data in each column? You say 10, and then how many columns? Say 3 or 4. Okay, in all the 4 columns, you'll see the program has extracted the same student IDs, because we didn't put any check in the program that if you pick up any 10 values, you don't pick them up again. There is no such check in this program. Okay, so what we can do now is we can take help of this color index. Okay, because every time what we are telling that once you pick up the value, you fill the interior of the cells with the color index equal to 17. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a bit clever part of the program. That is, if x is less or equal to m, that is fine, but at the same time another condition has to be satisfied, that if the color, right, interior pattern, so the if sheet 1, let us copy this thing. If the interior or copy this one, if the interior okay, interior pattern of the cells in column 2 of sheet 1 is already filled, okay, because every time it will fill it with a color index of 17. So if this is filled, it will not work, but if this is not filled, only then you do this. So we are now adding another condition, that x has to be less than the number of data in each column, and at the same time the interior of the cells in column 2 of sheet 1 can't be or should not be filled with any solid color, okay. So now the program will understand. Let us see what difference does it make. Let us clear all these things now. I'm going a bit slowly. It might be time consuming for you, but you learn better this way. So I'm going to go to sheet 2 and now try this command button, turn the design mode off, and now how many in each column? Like before, 10, and how many columns? Say 4, okay. There you go. So your program is working correctly now. In column A, you have got the student IDs from 1 to 10. In column B, from 11 to 20. In column C, 21 to 30. And in column D, from 31 to 40. Why? Because now you have used this color property. Because now what the program is doing, when it fills the first column in sheet number 2 with 10 values, so it fills up the interior of these cells with a color index 17. That is fine. And you have added another condition that if, so when it runs next time for the next column, okay, so what you have already instructed that if any cell is already filled with color, don't extract that. So it will not extract any data for the second column up to from 1 to 10. It will start from 11 to onward, and then it fills up to 11 to 20, and then for the third column it does not extract any value from 1 to 20. It goes to 21 and goes up to 30, and similarly for the fourth column from 31 to 40, and after that it has not filled anything until now. I hope you understand it, okay. And this is very interesting. You know, when you are developing a program for a certain purpose, and when you can't use your built-in Microsoft Excel functions, there are many functions, of course, in Microsoft Excel, like about 467 or something like that. But there may be some tasks which cannot be solved directly with the built-in functions, and in those cases in particular, you'll have to use your ExcelVBA programming knowledge. Right, let us try it again. I think we are done with this. Let us just play with that. Let me complete the task. Okay, we have not done it yet. So I'm going to unfill it. Right, go to sheet number 2 and press your command button 1. And how many data in each column? 10. How many columns are there? You want to fill in 10 columns, of course. And let us see what it does. Wow, in a glimpse of an eye, right? 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, 1 to 50. Yep, fine. 71 to 80 and 91 to 100. And there is definitely no duplication whatsoever. You can select the whole range of data and go to conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, and you can check for duplicate values. If there is any duplicate value, it will be highlighted with a red fill color and dark red text. You can of course change it, no problem. Okay, you can only use red text. So if there is any duplicate, it will be highlighted with red text. And let us see if there is any. No. So that means your program is working perfectly, right? Now, what else do you want to do? Let us clear all this data again. Okay, and go back to this student ID column, unfill it, and go back to sheet 2, go to command button 1, and this part we have used input box because we want to keep it dynamic. So how many data in each column? Now instead of say 10, we want to write 20. So there will be 20 data in each column, and so that will be split into 5 columns now. Okay, and there you go. Only in 5 columns all the data are stored. So here it will be 1 to 20, and then 21 to 40, then from 41 to 60, and 61 to 80, 81 to 100. Piece of cake. Only in this case you'll have to change your headers. Okay, that is all up to you. And I have not tried it. In fact, I have not tried anything. I'm just doing it extempore with you, almost like doing it live with you. So I'm going to unfill it again, go back to sheet 2, command button 1. See, once you develop your program, you can play with that. Okay. Now in each column, let us say we are going to store 5 data in each column only, and there will be how many columns then? 20. And let us see what it does. Wow. So there are 5 data, 5 student IDs in each column, and these are all stored in total 20 number of columns up to column T. Oh, by the way, let me give you a tip, a very useful one. I have given it earlier, I believe. Still, I'm going to show it once again. Go to File and go to Options, and wait a minute, go to Formulas, and in the Working with Formulas, select or check off this one, R1C1 reference style, and you'll get a very interesting thing. See, all the columns are now denoted by numbers and not by the alphabets anymore. So here you can see there are total how many columns? 20 columns. And if you want to center justify, of course you can, okay, and do whatever you like, right? Okay, so thanks very much. Thanks for watching this. I hope you found it useful, and very soon I'll come back with more Excel VBA tricks. Thank you.